Hey everybody, Black Diamond call time. It is John Lavenia. It is Monday, May 29th, 2017. I am excited to be here with you as I am each week on the Black Diamond call on Mondays. And if you're new here, welcome. Sit back, relax, and listen. We're going to have a special call tonight. And well, every week is kind of special, as you guys know. If you've been attending the Black Diamond calls, we typically have a different guest speaker each week. Sometimes it's myself. Sometimes I have to introduce and thank myself as the speaker and all that. But today, we have a really cool guy. Before we get into all that, though, a couple quick announcements. We will be suspending the On the Rise webinar this Wednesday. We've got a lot of people traveling to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for our peak event, our first ever peak event here inside Digital Altitude. Very excited for this. Of course, there's going to be a lot going on. Last I looked, there were like 25 presenters, tons of information. Obviously, if you're not getting to this one, make sure you're at the next one. It is just a delight to see everybody whenever we do our live events. But in any event, this will be our last evening call or webinar for the week. Black Diamond is, of course, just audio, so it's just a call. And we will resume the On the Rise webinars next week after the event. And I believe that is my only announcement for right now. All morning calls should go as scheduled. And on to the Black Diamond. So what we do here on this call each week, on this get-together that we have, is we talk about different concepts that have produced fruit. In other words, they've allowed myself and the other people who I have out on these calls to have to get to the top, basically. Hence the title Black Diamond. As any skier would know, Black Diamond is expert level stuff. So we like to talk about highbrow, high level stuff here. A lot of times it gets into personal development topics. And tonight we're going to be talking about some stuff that, as it relates to not only personal development, but as it relates to your understanding of the business. And I'm going to give you a little preamble too before I bring out our co-host. But the rules for this call are take what you like and leave the rest. Okay, my truth is helpful for me, but it's not necessarily helpful for you unless you make it your truth. You go ahead and apply it and see how it bears fruit in your life. And as I always say, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how we roll. This is advanced stuff here for advanced people who can think and make decisions for themselves. So that being said, we are on to a topic tonight, which I don't actually have a title for it. I guess a title will emerge. But there's something that I have I've noticed, and I alluded to it this morning on the wake-up call. For any of you who are on the wake-up call, you know that Ash was taking the week off for a religious holiday, and I alluded to an idea about how you occur in your life and in your business and to yourself and to the people you're in communication with. You can either be an asset or a liability. Think about this. And there are a lot of people, and I'm sure all of us here, we would like to believe that we're an asset. I mean, after all, somebody shows up and answers our advertisement, and they're interested in getting a better result in their life, and you purportedly are an asset. You can show them something better. Now, the reason that you're able to do that, if in fact you are able to do that, is because you've got some data. You know stuff that other people don't know. Like the guy right now working the job in the cubicle who doesn't know that entrepreneurial success is even a possibility for himself. He knows not. He knows not. He lives in ignorance, in painful ignorance of the opportunity that could be his if but he found someone like you who can show them, a better way. And so that's how I choose to show up in the marketplace. That means I've got to have good data, right? There's something called false data, which would be the opposite of good data. And there's plenty of that online. I don't think anybody needs you for that, right? They can just go bumbling around and find plenty of false data. But when we get into you being an asset in the, in your business, to your team, and in the marketplace, and all of that, I believe, and I've seen for myself, this is my experience that I'm talking about here, that the more I can show up as the purveyor of good information, the more I can know stuff, and the more certain I am in how what we're doing is good and right and beneficial and workable for people and accessible for even the brand new marketer, the more I do, in fact, become an asset in the marketplace. And to that also important new member, who, as I've said many times, is, in my assessment, the most important member in the company. So if you're one day right here, this may be a bit of an advanced conversation for you tonight, but hey, if you're one day here, that proves that you're no dummy. You picked a very, very auspicious opportunity. So we are glad you're here, And we're going to be seeing where this topic goes of, how things work and really knowing how they work. So I'm about to bring out our buddy Ryan, who's the head of business development here inside Digital Altitude. So you get to hear from a corporate guy today, which is really cool because he's not just a corporate guy. He's done tremendous work in the marketplace. But I'll wrap up my preamble by saying this, and I've quoted this guy several times, a guy named Wallace D. Wattles, who wrote a book in 1910 called The Science of Getting Rich. Okay? And he said in that book that two people engaged in the same business can have completely different results. One gets rich while the other remains poor. And of course the question is why? Why does that happen? And the answer is that the person who gets rich does things in the certain way. And in order to do things in the certain way, you must think in the certain way. The certain way. Okay, now if you've never heard me talk about this before, I'll let the cat out of the bag real quick. We'll bring Ryan out here. And grab yourself a dictionary. If you don't understand any words, like I didn't when I heard this guy tell me about the certain way, well, it turns out in the dictionary, which is the best self-help book ever written, in my assessment, it says that certainty is the absence of doubt. That's the way. So the more you know, and the more that you know, the more certain you're moving into the marketplace, and the more you become that person who is getting rich while others do whatever they're going to do in the land of ambiguity and not knowingness. We like to know stuff around here. So that being said, let me bring out my buddy Ryan Jaten. Ryan, how are you, brother?
Fantastic, John. I appreciate it.
Hey, Ryan, are you hearing me okay? You're breaking up pretty bad there. Are you hearing me okay?
For me?
Okay. Okay, can you guys type in the chat roll, are you hearing Ryan okay? Ryan, go ahead. No, no, no. 3 no's. Ryan, I got 4 no's. Our sound check was good, but now it's 6 no's. Yes, okay, Ryan, there you are. Oh, there you were. There you were. Okay, can't hear it all now. Okay, I heard, how about now? I heard that.
Hey, John.
Okay, hey, John, there we go.
How about now?
Yes.
Wow. So one of the beautiful things about technology is you can do it from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Are you in Dominican Republic already?
Except on the back patio of your villa in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Well, thank you for the warning, because I'll be there soon.
Okay. So I'm standing in the middle of the villa, because that's where I found the signal to communicate. So why don't we just start with a warning that I may lose a signal here, but I'll get through as much of the information as I can while you can still hear me. Is that fair enough?
Sounds good. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I know you had an apropos topic that came up as a result of you doing your work this week, so this is real good, usable stuff. I can't wait to hear it.
It is. And before I get started, I just wanted to send a special message. I spent about 9 hours today locked in a room with most of the executive team here at Digital Altitude, including Mary D. and Michael Force. And when they heard that I was going to be on this call tonight, they asked me to send a special hello and a special greeting to everybody that's here, including you, John. They're looking forward to being here. And so I get the pleasure of not only representing the company, but this evening I get to say hi to you from Michael and Mary and the rest of the gang up here. So consider yourselves greeted. John, thanks for the introduction, and thanks for leaving it kind of open, because what I'm going to share tonight certainly is not scripted. Sometimes I think the best conversations, the best information come from a raw and vulnerable place where I'm going to share some information that I think may be valuable to you guys. And certainly, John, if there's an environment for that, if we can do some questions and answers, I'd be more than happy to share that as well. My role at Digital Altitude, specifically right now, is that I manage all of the business coaches here at the company. We have a staff of about 57 S1s is what we call them, coaches that are working with your clients as they come in off the Aspire program. We have a rolling roster of about 8 to 10 S2s, which are the higher level coaches that actually are affiliate marketers that are coaching your upper level clients. And I have a great opportunity to work with these guys, train these guys, manage them, listen to them. And one of the things I want to share with you tonight is exactly how their process goes. I have this belief that we only fear what we don't know. The only reason why we're afraid of the dark isn't because of the darkness itself. It's because you're afraid what you're going to run into or what might jump out at you at any given moment. That's my belief. And I believe the more information we can share with you about things that happen that are out of your control, the less you are in that I don't know category. And therefore, the less you'll fear. So if we can share with you some of this information that happens behind the scenes, like John, I think we will call this pulling the curtains back, so to speak, and giving you a peek behind the curtains at the Wizard and see what goes on after you generate an Aspire sale, what happens at the company level, and what you can do to participate to improve your conversions or improve your earnings if you better understand the process that happens on the back end. So I wanted to start there and just kind of walk you through a brief introduction of what we do on the company level with your clients that you bring in, and then share with you some information and also open up to some questions and answers that you may have some questions about what happens. You may have some leads that you have questions about, and I'd be more than happy to visit with you on that. And like I said, just go off script and really get down to some nuts and bolts of what happens on an administrative level with your clients that you bring to us. When you signed up as an affiliate, at no matter what level with Digital Altitude, you raised your hand and said, I would like to introduce people to your company. I would like to introduce people to your product. See, your game and your opportunity lies in your ability to get as many eyeballs on our program and products as you can. Okay? I tell people that your capital investment to start this business can vary. It can vary from coming at the rise level. It can vary all the way go up to the apex level. But one thing that is universal and one thing that is apples to apples with every affiliate in our company, and this goes for the Rise member, to the Ascend member, to the Peak member, to the Apex member, your marketing costs are all the same. Okay, if I spend $100 in marketing at the Rise level, I could get the same result for new Aspire clients as I would if I spent $100 in the Apex level. You see, marketing expense is stagnant. It's stable. The only difference in cost with your business is where you chose to position, where your initial capital investment. And so if all of your marketing costs are the same between all of you, then I want to talk about what happens once you've generated that Aspire sale. Some of you, and I don't mind you admitting this, but some of you say, well, I created an Aspire sale and I feel like I just went into a black hole. Because you control all the marketing. You control all the traffic as the affiliate, but then as soon as somebody bought our $1 trial or bought our $37 Aspire program, they now are being worked, managed, coddled, and taught by our internal coaching team at Digital Altitude. And if you don't have line of sight to every one of those people, if you don't see what's going on my side of things, that can leave you in the dark. That can leave you in a state of potential fear. Again, fearing the unknown, not knowing what's going on. And so oftentimes I have affiliates that call and explain this to me. Tell me about this client or this client. And once we have that conversation, it sheds a lot of light on what we're doing, but it also helps them, come in metaphor. So with that idea, let's talk about exactly what happens. Once you generate an Aspire sale, somebody has actually clicked the buy button on our $1 trial or the $37 Aspire sale. The company's automation, the company's technology immediately assigns them to a coach, and it's instantaneous. Your thank you page that somebody sees when they purchase has the coach right there listed for them. It has the coach's contact information, and it gives them 3 steps to follow at that point. It says the first thing I want you to do is to schedule a call with your coach. Second thing I want you to do is get on their calendar and schedule an appointment. Okay? You got to be able to get your people to talk to coaches because the coaches want to talk to them. So that function, that automation that gets people assigned a coach is random. Okay, we put it in what's called a router. We have a software program within our technology scope that will randomize these new buyers and assign them to our coach. So I manage our router that is distributed on. It's a distributor, basically. If 100 leads come in and everything was apples to apples and I had 50 coaches, then this router would distribute those leads on an equal basis to all the coaches. And everybody in this scenario would get 2 new clients to work with as a coach. If we had 100 new Aspire sales come in from all of our different affiliates, and I had 50 coaches, and the 50 coaches divided into the 100 new clients, they'd each get 2. And that is done randomly, okay? There is not a priority or a hierarchy of leads that go to a certain coach or to, a different coach. Now, I give you this example in an ideal situation. The quality of lead or quality of new client that is assigned to a coach is apples to apples. But the quantity is not apples to apples. You see, I have a responsibility to 3 groups of people. As the vice president of sales for the company, I have the responsibility of 3 groups of people. Number 1 is the affiliates. Number 2 is my coaching team. And number 3 is the company. Not necessarily all in that order. I would consider them all equal. So it's more like 1, 1, and 1 rather than 1, 2, and 3. But that first group that I mentioned, the affiliates, I am in possession of your new clients. And when somebody buys Aspire internally, we don't say this externally, but internally we call them leads because those are the leads that our coaches are working with. And I'm responsible for those on your behalf. And for me to be a good steward of your leads when I'm in possession of them, I need to get the highest conversion I possibly can, which would in turn produce the highest amount of income and commissions for you, the affiliate. So on a daily basis, I have to pay attention to the effectiveness of my coaches. On a monthly basis, I actually redistribute leads within my router. I take the top 10 people on my coaching team, and I give them more leads to work with the next month because they earned it. You as the affiliate, would you want me to give an equal amount of clients to all my coaches, knowing that there's good coaches, there's better coaches, and there's best coaches? I would have to assume if you and I were in a one-on-one consultation, you would say to me, absolutely not. I want my leads to go to the best coaches. So that's what I do. I put your leads in the hands of the best coaches. So let's say that a coach ranks in the top 10 of my coaching group. I'm going to weight the router in I guess I'll use the word unequal way to everybody else on the team, and I'm going to give those top 10 people more clients, more leads. Why? Because they can handle more and they convert better. Okay, and you as the affiliate want me doing that. You want your leads in the best hands. Now, I have coaches that, if I'm talking good, better, best, I have coaches that are better. Okay, they're not the best, but they're better. They still convert. They convert well, but they don't convert as high as others. They get less leads. They get less of your leads coming in. I have coaches that are good, which is the bottom of the scale of good, better, best. My good coaches, I actually stop giving them leads. I put them on my personal coaching roster, and I try to train them up to get them back into the better or best category so that I can once again feel confident that I can give them your leads to work, and you'll be proud of me doing that. There's times where I'll get a message from a coach, and I'll give you some of my internal conversations here. There's times where I'll get a message from a coach, and they'll say, hey, my total leads this month are down. I'm not getting many leads. And I respond back, and I said, yes, as you know, on the first of every month, I go through the router, and I redistribute the leads to make sure that the top performing coaches are getting the most amount of leads. You performed at the bottom end of our scale, so I turned your leads off, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to work your leads you have, convert them at this level, create this many opportunities out of it, and if you can get back to that level just by working old leads, I will let you back on the router. And every once in a while, I get somebody that challenges me, and they say, well, Ryan, why would you do that? That's not fair. And my response is always the same as I tell my children. Guess what? You're right. It's not fair, nor is life. I can't go to a group of affiliates and say, hey, I have to be fair. No, I have to go to a group of affiliates, and I said, I did the best I could with the leads you sent us. And for me to do the best I can, I got to put them in the hands of people I can trust. So this may be brand new news to some of you affiliates. You may be thinking, wow, I didn't realize Ryan's such a jerk. I'm kidding. I didn't realize that Ryan and the company are actually paying attention that closely to the people that we send them. I thought it was more of like his black hole. No, we look at nearly every lead every day that goes to a coach. Okay, it's important to us because we know that if we don't satisfy that group of affiliates that group of affiliates stops producing traffic, and that group of affiliates stops sending us business. And if they don't send us business, the coaches don't have business, the company doesn't have business. Those three groups are all the major stakeholders in our company: the affiliates, the coaches, and the company itself. And if any one of those groups is not fully satisfied or fulfilled in their roles, we all don't have an opportunity. So we take it very seriously, I think, is my point. Now, we get questions, and I'm going to jump some of them out right now. People said, well, I heard that you guys give better leads to better coaches. And I don't fault anybody for spreading that rumor. It's just a little bit inaccurate. Not that better coaches, it's the quantity. We put more leads of our top coaches. I had a chance this week to be challenged. One of Apex, producers, that Darren and Ron is we're top coaches. If that's the case, I'll never have an opportunity. And I said, well, first of all, that's patently false. But rather than you taking my word for it, let's do a little exercise. I shared my screen with them. I opened my internal back office so that they could see the reporting that I see, and I typed in their username and their ID, and I pulled up all the leads that they had generated. And this person, in the last probably 45 days, had generated 74 Aspire sales, which is a really good start. Instead of 45 days to produce 74 Aspire sales. This person's not at the top of the affiliate list, but that is certainly a great start, and they're making traction. They're well on their way. I always tell people that you need to measure your conversions and measure your results in a company like this by the hundreds. Produce leads produce 100 Aspire sales, and you have a decent sample to go back and look. So I pulled up all 74 of this person's Aspire sales, and I categorized them by status. Some had been called once, some had been called twice, some had been called 5 times. Some had been in an active status where they're in funding stages. Some of them had been at Step 6 strategy session. We have all these categorized. And so I pulled up this one group of leads of this affiliate, and it was people that were currently and actively in the stage of their strategy session, Step 6. So they're contemplating buying Rise. I pulled up these 10 clients, and we looked at the coaches that were assigned to these 10 clients. Now, mind you, this is a brand new affiliate. This is somebody that certainly is not ranking on any kind of leaderboard of affiliates. Out of the 10 random clients we pulled up, 7 of them were assigned to my top 4 coaches. So here we have a brand new affiliate, concerned, which is fine. Again, she was in the dark. She wanted to be in the light. She called me. 7 of the leads that we pulled up of the 10, 70% were assigned to my top 4 coaches, which was great. What it did, it gave her confidence that the right people are working her leads. Now, the reason why 70% of those leads were in my top coaches' names is because I give my top coaches more opportunities to work with clients. So I share that just so you know, like I said, and I'll tell you the same thing I told her. As sure as I sit here, there is not a distribution based on quality, but my top people certainly get to work with more of your leads, and that is exactly what you want me to do. Something else that I thought would be interesting to share with you about this process is what happens, after they purchase their Rise program. How does that take place? Well, very similar to what happens at the Aspire level with my S1 coaches. I have a group of 8 to 10 highly trained, highly performing, highly effective S2s. These are coaches that work with your clients from steps 7 to 18. They introduce products like Ascend. They introduce products like Peak. They introduce products like Apex. And these are the people you want working for you. These are people like John. I'm sure there's people on this call right now that had John as a coach, and I'll probably reference him quite a bit in this call. These S2s, just so you know, are not only top coaches in the industry, but they've been here for years in this industry. They're also top affiliates. They understand the concept of how to create, start, and grow a business. Most of them have been top-performing affiliates with DA or other companies in this space. Not only have they been top-performing affiliates, but they've been top-performing coaches. This team that I have, this team that we get to work with here at DA, sometimes it's awkward when I get introduced as the manager of this team or the vice president of this team, because the collective experience and caliber of these people on the S2 team far surpass mine. And I think in the future I'd rather be just the administrator of this team, because our S2 coaches are top-notch. These are the guys that you want working with your clients. Now, how do they get these things? How do they get your clients, the RISE clients? How do they go into the upsell process? Well, it's the same process. I have them on a router, and their opportunities, their leads that they're given, are also sent through a router, a distributor. And they are also based on quantity. Okay, I'll give you, I'll use some names here. One of our top 3 coaches, his name is John Lavinia. He's the guy on this phone right now. The guy is brilliant. He's great at what he does. People trust him. He's honest. He's direct. If you want this guy coaching your people, well, I had an opportunity to call John, probably a month or 2 ago, and it was a quick call. I just said, hey, John, just wanted to thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being one of my top 3 coaches. I want to let you know that I changed the router today, and you're going to be receiving twice as many leads as you're used to. And John said, thanks, I appreciate it. And the call was over. Because John understands. John understands that you feed your stallions. You give the people that have the highest conversions, the highest effectiveness, the most leads. Now, we don't just base the last concept that I'm going to share with you before we turn it over to some questions. Base things on conversion. We also base things on a concept called DPL. That stands for dollars per lead. It's just a business term. It's an internal term. We certainly didn't create it, but it's something we measure and we look at. What we want to know and what we want to look at is, if I give one of your clients to one of my coaches, I want to predict how much revenue, how much commission to the affiliate will that coach produce with that client. Because I think it's safe to say, especially on this call, this Black Diamond call, that if you want to be at the top of this group, if you want to be a leader within this company, you plan on driving a lot of traffic. You plan on driving a lot of Aspire sales to the company. And when you drive an Aspire sale to the company, you want to receive the maximum amount of commission. So we make this calculation called the DPL, dollars per lead, and here's how we do it. Let's, just for easy math, let's say that you sent 100 Aspire sales to the company. And after a 4-month period, we do a 16-week DPL, because 4 months is plenty of time for a new client to go through the steps and to contemplate purchasing and upgrading, and if necessary, to go through funding and things like that. 4 months is a very adequate time to really look back and see what happened. Well, let's just say that you produced 100 Aspire sales, and at the end of 4 months or 16 weeks, you had earned a total of $100,000 in commission. Let's just use that as the example, because the more zeros in my math, the easier it is to do. Okay, you produced $100,000 of revenue or commissions to you, and you off of 100 leads. Your dollars per lead, you just divide the two. You don't get rid of any. You divide all of them into all of them, and that would give you $1,000 DPL. Your leads, your Aspire sales that you brought to us, produced $1,000 each. If you knew that number in advance, that may change the way that you market. If you were an Apex member and you knew, based on a 16-week average, that every Aspire sale you sent to us would turn into, within a 16-week period, $1,000 of commissions to you, would that change how much you're willing to spend on marketing? It should. If you knew that each one is worth $1,000 to you, how much would you be willing to spend to generate an Aspire sale? Okay, what if the number is only $300? What if your dollars per lead was only $300 at the end of the day? That's fine. That's plenty, because you know now that if you had a $300 DPL, you may only spend $150 to generate an Aspire sale, and you're still doubling your money. That's how a lot of high-end marketers do their business. That's what they think. That's the formulas they use. Well, we use those same type of math skills internally. And we measure our coaches based on what they can produce for you in a DPL. And so we look at conversion, we look at contact rates, we look at customer service surveys, we look at dollars per lead. How much revenue does my coach put in your pocket when you send us an Aspire sale? These are the types of things that we look at. Now, I can brag about my coaching team all day long. I think they're absolutely fantastic. John is evidence of the caliber of people that we have on our coaching team. But at the end of the day, they're just like there's different caliber of coaches, there's different caliber of traffic that comes through. And so if you're ever in a situation where you feel like you're sending traffic that's not converting, I think it'd be a great idea to contact somebody at the company. I certainly can't take every phone call, but John, I don't think it's unreasonable to at least invite the people that are on this call tonight. If they have questions like that, they're more than welcome to reach out to me privately. And if I had to do a show, I want to pull them. I'm going to share with you because I want to put it. This will create content for what we're talking about. But I had the conversation with the lady that I had mentioned earlier is because she had sent a complaint, and the complaint got escalated to me. And the complaint was very valid. This was not a frivolous, I threw $500 in the corner and it didn't produce $1 million paycheck, or I bought Aspire and my monitor didn't start spitting $100 bills out of it. It wasn't one of those. This was a well thought out, well articulated concern about this person's business. And they were an Apex member. And so they had a lot invested and they were really concerned about some things. And so that escalated up to me. And I want to share with you the complaint so that you can understand some context about why I'm sharing this stuff with you. They were very concerned because they didn't have any upgrades yet. 74 leads and no upgrades. And I thought it's quite unusual. My magic number is 100 just to get a result to really start looking at things. And I felt 74 was close enough that was kind of unusual. So we looked everything up. They were not driving personal traffic. They were buying the traffic, which means they had no connection. They had no control the traffic came from. There was just no connection to it, which is fine. A lot of people have built fortunes that way. But as we looked into it, as the 74 leads, only 50% of those Aspire sales that came in were from the United States. Now, not tragic, but 56% of the company's sales do come from the U.S. So if you're producing 50% of your sales from the United States, there may be a challenge. She bought traffic from somebody and she had almost a 25 to 30% cancellation rate. That's not tragic either. But what she had left over was 50 plus leads. She had about 53 leads left over. And out of those 53 leads, they were only 8 days old. And she already had 3 rise sales. 3 rise sales in 8 days on 53 leads. Okay? And effort are the things that see conversions. And when I showed her that through a dark room anymore, it made she really, that's the word I could use, is that she went from feeling hope to feeling hope. Okay, and here's why. Because what I told her was that her days were converting at, I'll tell you, and John can confirm this, you can make a lot of money at a 6% conversion. Okay, and by the time we got the phone, she sent me a thank you letter, and she's a wonderful woman. Her concerns were valid. She got good information. She got data back, and it really helped her better understand how it works. And you know what? I believe it made her more connected to her business. Because I'm going to challenge each one of you. If you're just throwing Aspire sales into the system and you're taking advantage of the black hole, which, hear me out, you're just throwing them in there and just closing your eyes, you may not understand how it works. I got to really process works, and now they will attack their business in a much more certain way, in a much more deliberate way than they ever did before. So I hope that her experience and some of the information tonight has brought you out of that dark room a little bit and kind of cleared up, turned a little light bulb on in that black hole that we talk about, and gave you a better idea of what happens technically and physically with your clients you send to us after the sale.
Hey, Ryan, you've been breaking up a bit. There's a couple of things that people may ask you to repeat. Can you hear me now?
I do.
Okay, very good. So we did have some choppy sentences in there, but I think I got the main gist of what you're talking about here is that quality in, quality out, and of course quality processing. It looks like the main idea here is that we don't do half measures, and that we're looking to have everyone be as effective as they could possibly be, regardless of their level of experience. And you're welcoming some interaction with people as well. Now, you did offer that to the people who are live on this call now. However, there'll be probably 1,000 people who listen to this on the podcast. So the podcast, just so you know, gets many more listeners than the live, just because of time zones, and plus it's a holiday and all that.
Edit, John. Edit that part out.
Right. But we didn't get a contact mechanism out of you yet. So anyway, were you still going, or I didn't want to interrupt, but at the same time we were not.
Nope. Yeah, I wanted to open up to questions and answers, and I do apologize if there was a connection issue.
Yeah, it's good, and then it craps out. Then it's good, and then it's out again. All right, so that's good. By the way, that's good data. Thank you, because in 24 hours or so, I'm going to be where you are. So we'll see how that goes. Talking to all the clients. So here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to open this up for Q&A. So stand by. All right, so Q&A session has started, and the way we do this, you can raise your hand by clicking what used to be your mute button. It should now be your raise your hand button. Or if you're on a phone or Skype, you can click *6, and that will raise your hand. We do have a couple people in queue already. Now we're going to go to our first caller, which is Chris B, Project Apex. Chris, you're live on the air.
Hey, John, Ryan, you there?
I am. How you doing, Chris?
Good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Hey, Ryan, I wanted to see if I could take you up on your offer. Is there a way I can reach out to you offline?
There is. In fact, do you have contact information for John?
No.
Okay.
John, I think you're in our Skype group, right?
I'm in so many Skype groups. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you can find me, I'll get you over to Ryan. I guess that's a blanket invitation. So, all right, Ryan, you open this can of worms, brother.
Hey, if it helps, I don't mind. Chris, you got a pen handy?
Yep.
Okay. R.Jaten. That is my Skype name.
Okay.
And when you send me a Skype, assume that I have no idea who you are, and just remind me that you and I connected on our Black Diamond call. Okay?
Okay. Will do.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Good.
Thank you, Ryan.
Glad you're here, Chris.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Chris. And we will go to our next caller, which is Lila. Lila, you're live on the air.
Hey, John, it's Lila.
Hi, Lila.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Lila, how are you?
Good. I just have one question. I have 14 members in my system, but I've only got one that's gone to Rise, and the rest of them are just sitting there. And the coaches have done all the contacting they can do. I've tried to reach out to them, and I'm just not quite sure where to go from here. What else can I do to get them to move forward?
Okay, first of all, your 1 out of 14 is that's a 7% conversion, which is really strong. So my first reaction to you is produce more leads. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to go back, because now you know in your mind figure out what your cost was on those 14 leads, and divide it by the amount of money you made on your Rise sale. Okay, and you'll start getting, it's a very small sample, so it doesn't work very well, but it's a small sample to start figuring out what you can spend on advertising and still get your money back. Okay?
Okay. All right.
As far as continuing to work those 14 leads, the company is remarketing to them, which means we're going to start calling them after the fact. I would encourage you to reach out and make contact with them as well.
Okay.
But I will tell you that a 7% conversion will make you money in this business. And that's where you're at right now.
Okay, great. So I'm assuming contacting them by phone personally, is that what should I do first, or try and contact them via email? Because I've done both.
You're gonna kind of step into the role as a coach. We try to contact your leads 8 times.
Right.
And if we can't reach them, or if they fall away, or if they give us an indication they're not interested, then we want you to step in at that point and start marketing to them. Eventually, what you're going to realize is you're building a list. Okay, when you have a group of people that will not, they won't respond to you, you want to add them to your list and keep dripping on them some high-quality content.
Okay.
Because when those 13 people that didn't buy said no, they didn't mean no, it just meant not now.
Okay.
Okay. They've been exposed to digital altitude. They know how it works. They're probably interested, but something kept them from buying. If I were you, I would keep dripping some high-quality content on them and use it. It's called maturing your list. Just add them to your list and continue to drip on them. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Because just know that we are doing the same thing on your behalf as well.
Okay. Well, I see that you said that the coaches usually contact them at least 8 times.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see that happening. So is it they contact them and wait a little bit before they continue?
Well, a lot of my coaches use a software system that dials people in volume. They can dial 200 people an hour, and the downside to that is it doesn't update statuses in the back office. But they're doing it. It's just they can't update 200 statuses an hour while they're doing coaching calls, and so sometimes you'll see it drop off at like call 3 or call 4. And they're still calling. They just haven't updated the status.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Good to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for the question.
All right. And point of clarification, Lila, that would be on the S1, the setup coaches. The S2 coaches are red carpet treatment for any new Rise member. Just so you know, I don't dial 200 people an hour. So there's that. All right, we're going to go to our next caller, which is my buddy Glenn in Houston. Glenn, you're live on the air.
Hello, John, Ryan. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Loud and clear. Glenn, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, appreciate your shout out to my coach, John Lavenia. I know what you're talking about, Ryan. John is absolutely first class.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Now, my question is, just by way of review, as you probably have picked up on by now, we lost through a little technical breakup some of the things that you mentioned, particularly from the point where you were talking about the lady you were coaching with who had told you that she had no sales or no upgrades out of 74 Aspire sales. My question is, from that point, based on the things you mentioned that I might not have heard, was there some specific advice that you gave her in terms of how to direct her traffic or change where she was producing her traffic? Was it simply a mindset issue or awareness of the statistics? I'm just curious to know what it is I might have missed, so that I can have a sense of what I can do and do better and continue to do with my own leads.
Okay, great question. I'll repeat a little bit of what I ended that conversation with her about, and hopefully it comes through this time. First of all, her assumption that she was not doing well after her first 74 leads was false. 21 of her 74 leads had canceled. So we were only working with a pool of 53 leads. And she had 3 Rise sales in the first 8 days of those leads being produced, which gave her a little over a 6% conversion, which is actually really good. Okay, so in her case, she was being impatient. Okay, she she jumped the gun. She thought, oh no, these leads have been in the system. Why haven't I made all this money? In her case, it was just being impatient. Now, I did give her some advice. I thought that the 30% cancel rate was a little bit high. She connected with her traffic source. I encouraged her to diversify her traffic source, and that would bring her cancellation rate down. Always.
Okay, John. Ryan, you just broke up a little bit there. You were saying you were talking about diversifying her traffic source, and you said always, and that was the last word I heard.
Hear me now, though? How are we doing now?
Yes, better now.
Hey, Glenn? Okay,
yes,
Glenn, I did hear your question. So if you could, in the middle of the room, holding my, I hope.
Sorry, guys, we're dealing with Dominican Republic connections. Standing by for Ryan.
Hey, John.
There you are. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Sounds like we're still having trouble here. This may be the end of the road for Ryan.
Hey, John, how about now?
Uh-huh.
Hey, John.
Got it.
Hey, John, before I lose my signal again, please, I give you permission to give everybody on this call my Skype name. Okay. And if there's any questions that we don't get to tonight, and this is for the live call participants only, they can Skype me directly, and I will respond to them with information to make sure that we get all the questions satisfied. Is that fair enough?
Sounds good.
Okay. So to finish that conversation, what I said to her is, as you can afford it and as you get better at this, you'll realize you want to diversify your traffic sources. If you rely on one traffic source, you're going to have inconsistent results and inconsistent data. One traffic source can be good one month and bad the next month, and you're going to go up and down. If you diversify it, it's kind of like dollar cost averaging. You'll get a more consistent result. So I felt like her 30% cancellation was a little bit high, and I advised her to bring on other traffic sources so that she could lower that down, under 20%. That was my advice. But other than that, she was doing great. She just needed to take a deep breath and practice some patience.
Did you get that, Glenn? Glenn, you're muted now. Glenn, you there? Hello, Glenn. Boy, this has been a technical delight on the Black Diamond call tonight. So looks like we lost Glenn. That's great advice, Ryan. And you know what, Glenn, I know that you've done some solo advertising, which is great, right? That's very easy to do and sort of done for you advertising method right there. And it's a method. It's not the entirety of marketing. So I suggest a lot of times, Ryan, I suggest to new members as they're going on to start their marketing that they choose one paid method and one free method. Not 10,000 things, right? You want to go deep, not wide, but find something you're inclined to do, something you've got a natural affinity for that you're interested in, and that might be Facebook, or you might hate Facebook. Okay, I'm just going to do YouTube videos like Joshua Elder. Okay, fine. We'll pick something that will not cost you money, but will cost you a little bit of time to build the momentum. And then once you've mastered one paid method and one free method, then you can start to diversify from there. But I do see the tendency of some people, because solo advertising in particular is so easy because it's essentially done for you. I do see the tendency for people to sometimes pigeonhole themselves into just that one method, path of least resistance and stuff like that. So, Glenn, excuse me, Glenn, I don't know if that's something, the consideration that you've had or something that you've seen for yourself, but certainly one method is not all methods. So thank you, Ryan. Glenn, last call. Glenn, are you still there? I don't hear Glenn. Okay, so we're going to go on to anybody else. Now's the time to raise your hand if you've got anything you'd like to say to Ryan before we lose him forever into the ethers of the interwebs. I just see our next caller. We're going to go to our next caller, Rosie. Hey, Rosie, you're live on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Rosie. Yes, we can.
Hey, I have a question. What you do when, okay, I did solo ads in the beginning, okay, and I had I'll say like 700 opt-ins, and out of that, only 19 of them became leads, okay? Now, two of them started with the $37 and then they canceled out. Now all of my leads are in the inactive status, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions on what should I continue to make some contact with the ones who are now inactive, because now I am getting ready to change up what I do on marketing, but that was kind of painful because I spent a lot of money on the solo ads, and I said, oh great, all these people opting in, and then I only got like 19 of them that actually took the $1 trial, and out of that they didn't none of them moved at all, and
So Rosie, it's a great question. It's a great question. Just to repeat, I think your question was, should you continue to bang on those people? And I will tell you, and again, this is my opinion, and I think John said something very appropriate in the beginning. He said, if the shoe fits, wear it, but I don't know the words he used. He said, if this information suits you, use it. If it doesn't, throw it away. So I'm going to share my opinion. I'm going to share my opinion on your situation as you told it to me. And my opinion is, if you have a free and automated way to continue to pound on those opt-ins and the people that bought, do it. But your energy and your focus, and certainly any expense, should be focused on producing new traffic and new sales.
Okay.
There's going to be things that you're going to do in marketing that are going to be a list builder that you will not. Some of the efforts you make now will not evidence itself in your business for months to come. Some of it happens right away. John, his advice when Glenn was on the phone earlier was very, very good. He said, start with one. Find something that can produce a result. Don't start with 10 things. Find one thing that you kind of have an affinity towards and watch it produce a result. The reason why I encouraged the person that I was talking about earlier to diversify is because they had already produced 74 leads and we had some data to analyze. And at that point is when I said, I would encourage you to start diversifying. But you tried something. It did not produce the results.
Right.
Now you have 700 opt-ins on your list. You have 19 people that have volunteered to purchase a trial, and you have a good start to a list. Now it's time to do something different and continue to go until you find something that produces.
Okay. All right. And that's exactly what I was working on. That's exactly what I'm working on, trying to find another option that I feel like I'm good at. Try to get to my opt-ins, my subscribers, I guess I'll call them, and get some more people in my back office so the coaches will have somebody to work with. Yeah. Okay.
And Rosie, you didn't ask me this, but I will share this with you. You're building a business and you're building your story, and everything you do contributes to your business, and everything you do contributes to your story. Some of it you can monetize, and some of it will help you monetize other things later. So I congratulate you for the efforts you've made so far, and look forward to you building it beyond this. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, this is Kim Pleasant. I haven't really started my training yet. I'm about to start this week, but I wanted to thank you because the information that you're sharing is very good, and I feel like I'm going to have a really good start in this, once Kim, I start my traffic.
Kim, you're a ray of sunshine. I appreciate the comment. That was great.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. Of all the people that we lost on this call, I didn't think it was going to be John. John, are you still there?
Oh, okay.
There he is.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. My goodness, this has been a technical delight here tonight. Okay, great. Ryan, well, thank you. Thank you for delivering such value. We got a lot of great information here and good understanding about how and why, behind the scenes, which, again, I think lends itself to to the confidence and the certainty, and that things are going orderly and as and as expected and as directed. So that's a good thing. I know that when I have looked at opportunities, I've often looked at, well, who's involved, and how is this managed? And quite often I have found that that's more important than the activities themselves, is the who. And so thank you. It's great to have somebody there facilitating or administering, as I think you've chosen that word, to to create this order, because I love order. I do not like confusion. So thank you for all you do and for delivering a lot of value here tonight. To our members, Ryan, any closing comments from you?
No, I just appreciate you having me out here, and one of my favorite things I get to do in my role in this company is to talk to affiliates, and so thanks for giving me the opportunity to do that.
That's very good. All right, everybody. Well, we're going to wrap up the Black Diamond Call with that. Thank you all for being here. Of course, we'll see you on the wake-up call tomorrow morning with our friend Joel Strait. In the meantime, have a great day. You certainly deserve it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.